Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Tub Takes. This is a video podcast where we talk about all the latest and greatest news in VGC. And this week, we have a special guest. We've got your Pittsburgh regional champion, Riley Factura. How you doing?
Good. How are you guys?
I'm doing good. It's good to have you on.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm
Pleasure's
excited.
all mine.
And then, of course, we've also got my lovely co-host, Alex. How are you doing?
Howdy, howdy.
I told these guys before we started that I'm not used to actually starting on time, so I am still eating, but still eating dinner. But we got Tub Takes must go on, and so we are here and we are ready to go. And so yeah, this is a fun week because we just got the teal mask, of course, but we do also have, and so we got Regulation E rules, teal mask, we got all the new Pokemon that we are going to talk about that. But first, we do want to go over some of the Regulation D stuff that happened, especially since we have, one, the Pittsburgh regional champion, and two, we actually have teams from Pittsburgh right now. So I think we should probably start with that. Alex, what are your
Oh yeah,
what are
I
your
wasn't on
questions?
last week. Did you?
We
I
looked at the
wasn't on
top
last
eight
week.
teams, and Rajan and Jody talked about their runs. That's and Messi.
Oh, okay,
So
okay. So you guys just didn't have the full thing then.
so Riley,
Um,
what was your approach going into this regional, and why'd you use your team?
Um, well, it started with right after Nats. Like I was trying to find the best Cress Ursa Luna partners, and I spent a long time testing stuff like Flutterchi, Urshifu, obviously, Mungus Hands, um, and I literally just could not find the right partners for Ursa Luna. So like at Worlds, I was like, I'll just not use it. And I decided to just go with like the team that was winning, which was the Reggie Drago Golden Ghost stuff. Um, didn't work out so well. I didn't think the team was optimal. And then after Worlds, um, I decided to try the core again, but I was like, what if I'm like choosing the wrong, or I'm instead of trying to find the right partner for Ursaluna, why don't I just take out Ursaluna? I felt like that was like the problem. It was like so hard to take advantage of Trick Room if they played correctly.
hmm
Like with Terragos, and Flutter Mains, Golden Goes, and then they just switch in like a Levitator or a Flying type. It was like, oh, there's a turn wasted. So
Man,
yeah,
people called me cat for saying the mon was difficult to make use of all the trick room turns. That's like my main issue with the bear. It's obviously very strong, but yeah, like those guessing games can be brutal because it's just like the clock is ticking, and once trick room's gone, it's very hard to get up a second one.
that is true. Yeah, you're right. I think I actually saw a tweet from you like
Yeah.
early on, and you explained it like perfectly.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, I think that the Bears still good. I think we're going to see that it got second in Barcelona later, and so like, obviously the Pokemon can achieve great things, but in my experience, it was just like you said, a Terra Ghost Pokemon or a Flutter Mane, or there's plenty of floating Pokemon, so too many immunities for my taste.
Yeah,
And a lot of
it's not a
like,
bad mon. It's
I mean,
good.
it's certainly a really good
It's
mon.
tough.
Just like, yeah, especially with the facade and earthquake interaction. It's so easy to switch in something that can take one of those attacks, and so a lot of times it feels like you are playing sort of a guessing game. The players that I saw play the archetype successfully had to play really aggressively with their Ursaluna and aggressively with their
hmm
trick room turns, which is always the case when you're talking about hard trick room teams. But like, I think that you have the right idea where hey, you've got this really strong defensive backbone. You're already wearing teams out with some combination of like Crush Room, Hand, Heatran. I saw you pilot not exactly those four, but like a very similar team at Fresno to a lot of success, really abusing Amoonguss Hands, and so it was it makes a lot of sense. And then cleaning up with probably the most powerful duo in the format in Urshifu and Chenpao.
Yep. I love those two. Well, I love the whole team.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's like just so much BST on this team. Amoonguss doesn't count. Amoonguss obviously supersedes all BST uh, restrictions or whatever. Um,
I'd
but
say it gets some extra HP points for switching in and out from
true,
Regenerator.
true. Generator is basically BST, and I mean, at the end of the day, if you're not counting in abilities, like then you're not really looking at the whole Pokemon. Iron Hands doesn't even have an ability, and that guy's pretty all right. Um, yeah. Um, so yeah, you went up against Wolf in the finals, and I believe it was 3 games, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's the only game in Top Cut in all of Top Cut that went to 3 games apparently.
Okay. I remember watching it live ish. I was with some people on the disc golf course, but we were like, well, I want to watch the finals. It's Riley versus Wolf. This is hype. Were you did you guys play in the tournament at all earlier or no?
Yeah, we played. I have it pulled up here. Round 14.
Oh, so
So
like not that long before it, I guess. 3-ish,
yeah,
2-ish games, right?
yeah. I was already undefeated, and I was already in Top Cut guaranteed.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to play Alberto, and he got the win, and then I played Wolf right after. So it that set also went to 3 games,
Mm-hmm.
but he played a little bit differently, and so did I.
Yeah.
And
Did
then
you
I
learn
like
anything critical in that previous set? Anything like information wise or like approach wise? I guess you already mentioned that you both kind of changed your approaches in the finals.
I think I was kind of surprised that Wolf had revealed his game plan to me, like game 3 of Swiss, and then he kind of just stuck with it for the finals. So I had
Oh,
already,
because yeah, you were both already guaranteed in.
Sort
yeah.
of. Wolf was
He
Wolf
might
was
have,
guaranteed if because of he had the crazy res, but if he wasn't looking at his resistance, if he lost, then he might have been out. He would have bubbled in anyways, but I don't know if he knew that.
yeah. It was. I don't know if it was 100% guaranteed if he lost, but yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I mean, there's no reason to risk it when yeah, I don't know. It's such a different game nowadays with like open team shooting stuff. There's a lot less of stuff to preserve, and at best it's like game plans, which maybe you can still come up with something new. Maybe Wolf didn't in this case, but um, yeah, I think it's best to just play it safe there.
yeah.
And so now you are, of course, the first person in North America to get a 2024 Worlds invite.
True.
And we were having this debate when the new rules were announced for the circuit structure. If you win the first regional of the year, do you keep playing, or do you just say, "I'm going to sit at home and and watch everyone else fight and enjoy my free time"? So, Riley, what's your plan for the rest of the year?
Good question. I mean, a lot of pressure has been taken off, so I'm probably like, if I want to just screw around, I can. Like, I have that luxury, I guess.
That's
Also,
interesting. Yeah. No, not even like messing around. Like that is an interesting take. Is that like, yeah, you can just play every tournament to win. You're no longer just like worrying about like amounts of CP, like just making sure I get points, whatever. You can play every tournament just to get first or to earn money or like the things that like are gonna hold more value because championship points at the end of the day are gonna earn you a round 1 buy at anything.
yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
Burns just mentions
I think I can win out that round anyway.
it. You're not interested in the round 1 buy? The round 1 buy?
Nah, I should probably maybe try to play for that if I can.
No, I definitely think it's a little overrated. It is round 1. I mean, you could definitely get unlucky round 1 and pull one of the strongest players in the tournament.
I could.
But
We
you'll
never
have to
know.
beat them at some point. It's definitely not something you would turn away if you get it. If you know. Have
Yeah,
the
I mean, it's
season to
obviously
earn.
better to have it than to not
Yeah,
have it, right?
yeah. Um,
But
but
I
yeah,
mean, we saw how much internet's influenced the day 2 race, right? And I think it's probably going to have the same effect where like you won a regional, that's awesome, congrats. But at least we saw Wolf win a regional and like get crazy regional performances all year last year, and not even. I mean, he got kind of close, but he didn't get that close to a day 2 invite, right? And even though it's not people aren't going to go that hard, the internet's payouts are just so high that I feel like that's unless you are like planning on going to every event, which you reasonably could. You just made $6,000, but like unless you're planning on going at every event, I feel like the people who are going to every event are still going to be people in contention for day 2 more than anything else. Yeah, I was just curious. I fully expected to see you at. Well, I'm not going to Peoria, but I fully expected to see you in Top Cut again at Peoria. after your run.
I don't know. We'll see.
Uh,
Reggie is it looks a little different, but we'll
Yeah,
see how the ogre plays into effect.
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
Let's finish talking about Reg D forever? Question mark. Are we done?
Forever?
Is this it?
No,
Are we
no,
about?
we're not because it turns
Don't
out
tell me.
there
Don't
is
tell
another
me.
regional in Reg D this weekend in Brazil.
Is it the one that is linked in here?
Yeah, yeah. It's being streamed, which is just announced like an hour ago, 2 hours ago, which is very convenient, good
Okay.
timing. But yeah, there is going to be a stream for the VGC event in Brazil. This was the one that they capped like at really really low numbers. Like I remember Brazilian regionals last year when they didn't have a cap problem. We're hitting 200, 300 people, and this was capped at like 100. And so I don't know who got in and who
Oh,
didn't. But
yeah.
quick hitting smart money. Who's your smart money for the Brazilian regional?
Zach Thornburg.
Zach Thornburg, good pick, good pick. Um, yeah, like Audie, we were talking about people being limited on getting in. I don't even know if like the players that I could think I could see winning this will be in attendance.
Mm-hmm.
I'll pick that one player. It's not Juan Salerno. It's
Jokin?
there's another Salerno. What was that?
Jokin? I don't know how to
Yeah,
pronounce his
Jokin
name.
Salerno. Yeah, I think Jokin Salerno, who was using Worm earlier in the year, because I'm
Okay.
a Worm fan.
Okay, cool. I'm not pulling any punches. I got Agati. I'm pretty sure. I mean, he's always the favorite to win every last time event. But yeah. So there is an
Yeah,
event
it
coming
was
up this weekend.
boring. It's just a boring pick. That's why I avoided it.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't know who got in. I don't know who got it.
Yeah, I don't know either. You're the one that asked this.
I know. So, yeah, that is the last Regulation D event. So there is one more technically, but yeah, other than that, it's pretty much over. Even my locals have been switched over to Reg E at this point. No one wants to play Reg D anymore. So, yeah, that is, I guess, wrapping up the discussion of Pittsburgh. I guess were there any teams that anyone wanted to talk about? Anything that maybe carries over to Regulation E?
Um, I don't really care to talk about these teams because we got to look at more Regulation D teams in Barcelona.
That's true.
I guess
doing
I didn't look down below the top 8. Is there anything cool down below top 8?
There is one of the things about this event that caught my eye was that like Bramble Gas was everywhere. There were
There's
three
a
in
good
top
number
16,
of Bramble.
and I think that's partially just because of like, and this is I was going to mention this with Barcelona. It's like a regional thing, right? It's Emilio did well with it, and so a lot of people, especially in North America, are closer to Emilio. I know Steven and James are really close to him, and that's probably why they use his team. I don't think Mezzi said that he was using Bramble because of Emilio, but it is cool to sort of see like there are still almost regional trends for team building, because when you look at Barcelona, you're not going to see any Brambleghast, and Brambleghast is a Pokemon that just got Poltergeist, can still be just as much of a menace in Regulation E, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm looking through these teams. There's like the occasional interesting thing, but yeah, like Chef and Angelo made it through with the silly hard trick room stuff that they've been cooking up. Different variants, but
Mm-hmm.
similar-ish. There is a Dondozo in 33rd. Maybe the highest finishing Dozo. That mod has been going through it, I gotta say.
Well, there's one on 25th as well. Shout out to Timmy
Oh, that I
Turner.
missed it.
But man, if you think Tendozo is as out of the picture now, just wait till you look at Barcelona results.
All right, well, let's head over there. Let's look at them. Let's
Hi.
look at them then.
So, Barcelona just happened this past weekend in Spain. It was the first official stream for a European regional or special event, which is cool. And it sounds like all of them are going to be streamed. So you could watch this on the official Pokemon YouTube channel. 314 Masters. So, not the biggest regional in the world, but they were capped at, I think, 400. And Edu was the winner. So he has got his Worlds invite as well, back on top after having a little bit of a rough season last year. Yeah, Dozo got top 8, and there were a lot of Dozo in day 2, like a ton. Like
Yeah, I'm
6
seeing
or
quite a
something.
few now. I see what you're talking about.
Yeah. Dozo had a strong weekend over in Barcelona.
Um, eh, I mean,
Terra Dragon
to be
one is
fair,
interesting.
it got to 7. What were you saying, Riley?
Uh, One of the Dondozos here is Terra Dragon, which we don't normally see. Well, actually, we haven't seen it since like Reg B, I
Yeah,
guess.
I honestly, talking about Regulation E, could see it making a comeback with the number of what you would call it, ogre pawns that it's going to be facing up against.
Mm, that's a
And
good
they're
point.
usually fire, water, grass. You could go with the grass Terra, or you can go with the grass Terra to resist the Ivy Cudgel, grass, or not Ivy Cudgel, the whatever other moves they run. They have a bunch of grass move options. But if you go grass, you're weak to the fire ogre, which can deal some heavy damage. Another thing to note is Dondozo's speed tier is kind of relevant again. If it runs like a lot of speed, it can outspeed the 110 speeds, and so it doesn't match up too poorly into Ogre Pond, funnily enough. Earthquake can do solid damage to the fire one. I think the water one will actually give it the most trouble, seeing as it quad resists water, and or actually it's immune to it. That's too funny.
Hold on. Just one
Resists
notification.
earthquake and order up, I guess. Um, is the only thing that can actually hit it. So maybe Terra Dragon Order Up will be uh, something used to deal with the water one in the next format, or maybe the mon will completely fall out of existence again, like it did kind of towards the end of Regulation D.
Hmm.
Um,
I think that Dozo will always exist in some capacity. I think it's really hard to like. It's really easy to tech for, but if you don't tech for it, I think like some amount of teams are not going to have a matchup for it, and it has enough flexibility with its other slots that you can usually create a matchup into some other fraction of the teams in the format. Um, and then it kind of playing a numbers game, and there's a reason a lot of them went 9-5, right? Like you can play a numbers game where you win 2/3 of your matchups more or less. But I guess not my favorite archetype. I don't really like using it, but I think that you can always get to like a 60% win rate with Dozo if you really want to.
it's the lamest thing to be added to the game. Let's be honest here. Come on, Dozo. I'm not going to defend you, Dozo players. That's so stupid. Like even like at the base of it, like it is reducing the game down to like singles. You are making one decision per turn. Like that's boring. Come on. I don't. I play doubles because it's like interesting. Just clicking one move every turn. That's not interesting. You're not
I
making
agree
decisions.
with you. I agree with you. I was a Dozo player for a while. I brought Dozo for all three of the online challenges,
Mhm.
and I tried to optimize it like crazy in Reg C. And I was like, and then when I switched teams, I was like, wow, I have so many different plays that I can make now.
Yeah, that's like what happens when you come from OU to VGC. You're like, whoa, there's depth here. And not that OU doesn't have depth, but it's so stupid. Yeah, I will not defend the Dozo players. So the Edu's team, I actually looked at it originally. I'm just like, I'm so out of Reg D. I'm just so shifted my mind forward, which is like it isn't very different, because we've only got like a couple of Pokemon, but um, I looked at Edu's team and I was like, oh yeah, that's just the world champion team. And then I'm now looking at it, I'm like, wait, no, Heatran didn't win worlds. I think it's Heatran has replaced Iron Hands. Otherwise, a lot of the same members, maybe slightly different sets here. I know that the Landers wasn't Scarf on the world's winning team. And Amoonguss was like Citrus Berry, not Helmet. But like, those are the kind of changes you can expect to find on teams in Reg T. Riley, you're not innocent here either. Like that is the kind of stuff that you do in this format. I mean, like you could talk about all the micro decisions on each like common Pokemon. Um, like going back to your team, you had like Life Orb Heatran. That's like pretty interesting, I guess.
Yeah,
Right? You
I
did.
wanted to always one shot the Flutter without worrying
Yeah,
about
that makes
Intimidate.
sense. Yeah, didn't have to worry about like heavy slamming and stuff. Um, but at the end of the day, like yeah, like there's just like some
I mean,
small things
I
you
had
can
four
do
of the
to.
same Mons from the fucking Worlds team. Oops, I didn't mean to curse, but yeah.
You could curse, it's
You
chill.
can curse now. We're past the
Um,
first 2 minutes. You're good.
true. Yeah, I'm looking at your team and like the one thing I can make note of is like okay, Electric Terra Crest, sure, and then like the grass knot on the Amoonguss. How good was grass knot? Was it good? Do you regret it or did you like it?
No, I love it.
All right, all
And,
right.
and Chunk Urshifu.
Yeah, yeah. It actually does like real damage.
Yeah, without missing.
True.
Oh, because like yeah, you didn't feel like doing Leaf Storm.
No.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I didn't feel like
Um,
doing anything that had under 100% accuracy.
Yeah, you got
yeah, yeah.
flamethrower
You're
on Heatran
actually
too.
yeah. Flamethrower on Heatran, Flamethrower on Chi Yu from Wolf in the finals.
Spinner on Chen Pao instead of Icicle Crash.
Wait, no. Am I thinking of a different? I thought Wolf ran Flamethrower Chi Yu. He did not.
Actually, I don't think he did. I think he had Overheat, Heat Wave,
Yeah.
Dark
Oh,
Pulse
okay.
tomorrow.
He ran Flamethrower on a Chi Yu in earlier
Yes, he
group
did.
format or something, so that's why I'm getting it mixed up. Anyway,
Yeah, you really did
um,
have zero moves that can miss on this team. That's crazy.
Yeah.
yeah, you're.
I loved
Oh,
it.
yeah, Ice Spinner taking the win as well, not Icicle Crash. Everyone was all aboard the Icicle Crash train, and you stuck with Spinner.
I love Spinner so much.
I think we might
Guaranteed
see a
damage.
Spinner comeback with Grassy Glide, Rillaboom
Yep.
uh, being a
Gonna
thing.
come back.
So um, there there are small trade-offs though. Like we were seeing Ice Spinner fall off mainly due to Helmet, and there's actually something similar in the new format with Ogerpon running Spiky Shield. You don't want to make contact with it, and that's something nice about Ice Crash is you won't lose your focus hash to hitting into a protect essentially. But Ice Spinner obviously stops those glides, and I imagine Glide Rilla will be pretty common. So um, moving on though, the second place team from Marco Maras was actually a Trick Room team, and there's that Ursaluna we were talking about earlier. Um, and I should say like a more dedicated Trick Room team because like Riley's team had the option to click Trick Room, but this team looks like it wants to click it a bit more, seeing as there is
Yeah.
one Pokemon over like 100 speed with
Mm-hmm.
Fluttermane.
And it does also have like a more committal Trick Room mode to Torkoal.
Hmm.
Right. And so if you really want to make a push in Trick Room and you don't want to have to, pick a slot, right, then the Torkoal is going to clean up a lot of games. And I think a lot of teams probably are pretty weak to Torkoal in Trick Room, and it just hasn't really been looked at too much. Maybe not. That might be cap. I think that a lot of the things that Torkoal hits are beaten by Ursaluna. Let's go with that. That's probably more accurate.
Hmm.
And
That
so
is, yeah. I mean, it's got that classic Groudon coverage, ground fire, primal Groudon. That is.
but it is Ursaluna is a Pokemon that I'm curious to see how it moves forward in Regulation E because it obviously is so inherently powerful and it did feel very centralizing. It felt like a lot of people were attacking very hard for it because of how at least at Worlds where it was expected to be very popular, expected to do very well, and kind of fell flat. And so I'm curious how it'll evolve as it maybe becomes less popular. But also as like I don't know, we got a bunch of new grass types in the game. People might and redirectors. Maybe people stop running Amoonguss. How does it interact with Grassy Glide Rillaboom? Stuff like that. It's going to be really interesting to see.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think it's definitely going to be harder to use Ursaluna. Both Ursalunas this coming Reg E.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll have to talk about that guy when we get to the fun Reggie discussion. But
Mm-hmm.
right now we're still stuck in D. I gotta say that Amoonguss though. I love that Amoonguss.
Yes, the sash.
Sash, double
Dash.
attack. Like I don't have time to pollen puff. Like the opponent needs to die. They need to get off the screen. And so
Yeah.
this thing, it also it like barely does, but it kind of solves one of my issues with a Amoonguss Cresselia. Like, okay, I'm gonna guarantee Trick Room lead. It's like, yeah, you guaranteed Trick Room, and now you have Amoonguss Cresselia on the field. Like, what kind of pressure are you outputting? And so seeing Sludge Bomb and Leaf Storm, both like gives Amoonguss better offensive coverage to hit a variety of Pokemon, as well as with that Sash, it kind of implies to me that maybe it's not invested all the way in the bulk, and this thing actually has offense investment. So maybe those Sludge Bombs and Leaf Storms can start to do a bit of damage.
Alex is saying in chat that apparently this is just Yanagi's team from Worlds, so it might not be
I
as
looked
much.
up. I was trying to look it up, but I don't know. Well, I looked up Yanagi at Worlds, and so I don't know if I'm typing in something wrong or if that's just like a handle or a username, or maybe they didn't do well at Worlds, but
I think they
couldn't
cut.
find the
I
team.
think they cut.
Yeah, I think
Um,
they caught. Did they have the same Amoonguss set?
Hakayanagi.
Takiyanaki. Um, I don't really need to. I don't really feel the need to dwell on this team either. Though
That's fair.
I want to talk about Alex Gomez's team because this is the only cool team in the entirety of
It's
Top
the
Cut.
only cool
It's
team,
the only cool
and that's
team in the entirety of both Top Cuts, to be honest. I mean, Bramblegas is pretty
yes.
cool, but like really, this is the sauce.
No, thank you, Pokey Alex, for doing this. I'm really sad to see him not take it all the way. I was watching this on stream and I was like, wait, this is based. This is awesome.
Yeah, it's got this like weird like little hard parish mode, but then also I remember like we were playing like Dynamax or Series 10 with no Dynamax, and everyone's just like, man, Gothitelle or Shifu is broken. Back in Sword and Shield, because like Gothitelle is fake out, you can't Dynamax through it, and this is just that. I mean, this is just saying, hey, Gothitelle Urshifu is broken, but we need like a second thing to do, and so you got the second thing to do with the Trick Room mode. Oh, sorry, the Perish Talk mode. Excuse me, with Iron Hand and one of these other guys, and it looks super cohesive.
The team looked well built based on the stream match that I caught, because one of the things that Parrish has to deal with most of all, not just ghost types specifically, but Golden Go, which is just immune to Parrish Song. And so Alex went up against a Golden Go team on stream. I did end up catching that one. And yeah, just led with Gothitelle plus Volcarona. And Volcarona gives Golden Go a seriously hard time. It was just setting up Quiver Dances and threatening a ton of damage. It was even on a rain team, but those water Pokemon were just food for Giga Drain. So um, yeah, the team just seems like built well. I don't actually who did Alex lose to? Matteo Bellini, with it looks like the Jude team. Um, it was two games. I don't know if it was streamed or not, but um, yeah, I guess I could see. No, the team has double fighting type and U-turn. Like Roaring Moon probably can't be that bad, right? I don't know. I don't know exactly how the matchup shook out, but anyways, heartbroken to see it not take it all the way because this team is like the only cool team.
Mm-hmm.
It is really cool. Like Volcarona was something I was scared of for Pittsburgh actually, and that's why I ran Terra Blast Grass on Heatran.
Hmm.
I had Earth Power for like most of my testing, and I was scared of Alberto too and his Gastrodon. But yeah, I was seeing a ton of like water Volcaronas on the ladder the week before, and I was like, oh my god, this is actually like really threatening. So I'm surprised I didn't really see it that much in Pittsburgh. It's cool to see Alex have it here.
Yeah, yeah. It's a Pokemon that definitely like fell off. I don't know how good it's been in this this calendar year. Has it done anything?
Uh,
I don't know if Volcarona's done much this year.
mm,
I
Um,
don't think it has actually.
which is funny
yeah,
because I thought it'd be really good to start the season because it did pretty well into like Chen Pao, and then Chen Pao kind of fell
Yeah.
off. Um,
hmm
and now Chen Pao is top six in usage or something, and so I think Volcarona just becomes that much better, even though Urshifu is still in the game.
yeah. Um, Otherwise, yeah, it's got the U-turn option, which is good for maintaining a Perish lock. The hands doesn't have Volt Switch because Heavy Slam is just kind of too good. U-turn as well on the Urshifu, just strong when the opponent's locked in. And yeah, I mean that Screamtail set, even though it's got no attacks, can be very disruptive. Encore Disable is so annoying. Um,
Hmm.
just a really cool team.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know if there's anything else in the cuts here to talk about. Let's see. Wow, that ninth place team from Alex Soto did actually almost make it in with the Trick Room stuff. Very close to what he was running earlier in the season.
Hmm.
Um,
And I was saying before Worlds that I think Spam is like almost there at this format, especially the more Urshifu usage, double fighting usage, less of like Ting Lu existing. I
oh
think
yeah.
it's like I think it was a viable archetype that people were overlooking because like it's usually when you think of Spam, you think of pretty mediocre players playing it. And when good players do play it, you see them do very consistently well, and no one has played it as well as Alex Soto has. And he didn't use it at Worlds. And I was really disappointed to see that because I was like, the only person who can cut Worlds of Size Spam is going to be Alex Soto, and I think he can do it. And then he didn't bring it. So it is cool to see
Yeah.
him bring it to this event and just barely miss out on top cut.
Um, and that is just about the last team to talk about. There's a Gudra in 32nd place, but I'm sorry, Francesco, I don't really care to talk much about Gudra right now. It's got the assault vest on. Um, Actually, this team might have been on stream one of the rounds. Yeah, because it's the loaded dice. I will talk about your team. Okay, it's got the loaded dice Arcanine, the loaded dice Arcanine with Annihilate. I didn't end up happening on stream into the Annihilate, but it did click Rock Blast into a Flutter Mane for considerable damage. It was kind of funny. There's also Perish Song on this Flutter. This team is doing some stuff. It did finish last on the day, so there's not a lot to say. It did make day 2 though. Pretty funny, and I love the Rock Blast tech. That's just goofy.
It did go.
With that though,
It did go 6-3 into day 2, and then lost the first 2 rounds.
oh, that's how it went. Okay, that makes sense. Because I forgot it was small enough that 6-3s could make it through.
I want to know if he tried to Rock Blast his own Annihilate and missed.
And missed. That would be brutal. All right, let's move on to talking about some Regulation E. Reg E is here. We've all played a bit of it. I've been grinding, and first off, now that we have like more information, we're gonna revisit talking about all the newcomers.
Starting with the
and-
best one, Diplin. What do you guys think
Yeah.
of Diplin?
It's kind of getting annoying at this point. I think I'm facing Diplin in like 90+% of my games, and it's such a toxic Pokemon, man. Like, I've been stuck in the 1000s just because I keep losing to Diplin on the showdown ladder, and I don't know what I'm supposed to do to beat this thing. It doesn't seem to have any clear weaknesses.
So, fun fact. I heard this, actually. Alex or Riley, you might be able to confirm this. I heard that it can hold an Eviolite.
Yep,
I heard that too.
it in fact can.
Okay, so that's confirmed. It gets the boost.
Yes, yeah, it's legit. Like, it's the game. It is accurate to in game. Whether that or not that will get patched out is another thing. I don't know if this is like an early leak of like, oh, this thing's actually going to evolve in the later DLC, or not. I think it's got like a comparable stat line to the other. Let me open up Showdown.
It's
the other.
It's a bulky Pokemon if it gets an Eviolite, right? 80, 110, 80 is like kind of stupid defenses, but I've looked through its moveset multiple times and I cannot figure out for the life of me what it's supposed to actually do.
Yeah. Okay, 1 second. Appleton 45. Yeah, so it's got the same BST as the other Apple Pokemon, Appleton and Flapple. So it's like, it's not like it's considerably weaker than those guys, but maybe Diplin will evolve later. I mean, 485 is pretty low considering the number of 500 plus Pokemon they've put out this generation, 550 on like a number of them. So it's not holding up in the stat department, and I think it's also like a mixed attacker, which is like one of the worst things you can do. 80, 95, yeah.
But those defenses do go kind of crazy with an Eviolite. Like I just have to do anything otherwise.
Yeah,
it's gonna evolve. It's gonna add a banana and another apple.
No. No. Okay, so Diplin, it's just not very good. The next one, though, I keep getting these guys backwards. I was about to say Poltergeist, but no, it's Sinistra. For some reason, they're reversed to the names. Sinistea evolved into Poltergeist, but Poltergeist evolves into Sinistra. Anyway, this one's dope. It's got a number of sets, and it seems very cool. The ones that I've been seeing predominantly are using it almost like a variant Amoonguss, where it has Rage Powder, and it switches in to give the Hospitality healing. So instead of a Pollen Puff, it's just like a switch in healing. You could almost argue instead of Regenerator too, because like it's not healing itself; it's just healing its friends. But it has the option to heal itself with both Matcha Gotcha, one of the most like stacked moves we've ever seen, and Strength Sap. It also has Strength Sap to recover all the way back up on basically any physical attacker, which It can switch in very well. We talked about Bramble-Gas. This Pokemon has the same typing as Bramble-Gas, but it has actually got like the defenses to switch in on Urshifu and on Iron Hands. And so it's like it holds up. The Pokemon is really solid. The other set that I haven't mentioned yet is Calm Mind. Calm Mind fits its stat line very well. It's a physically defensive Pokemon with a bit of a lackluster special defense and HP. And so it buffs those up, takes a bit of damage, and then clicks Matcha Gotcha, which, for those that don't know, is a spread move that has a 20% chance to burn, heals you for 50% of damage dealt, like Giga Drain, and technically 90% accuracy, but it's so stacked.
We saw Nails cut worlds with Combine Fluttermane clicking Draining Kiss, and this is just powered up. This is just better. I mean, it's not a Fluttermane, but it is just a better stat distribution for Combine and a better move than Draining Kiss.
Imagine if you could Draining Kiss both. Just hit both. And also, you're setting up your special defense and clicking a move that has a burn chance. Like, it's just awesome.
This month's kind of a menace.
I'm loving it. The only thing that doesn't work or that works against it is that it's competing for the grass slot when there are a lot of grass Pokemon we're going to be using, mainly Ogerpon, that we'll be talking about shortly. We got to talk about the what do they call them? The lousy three, the loyal three. They're not hot over here in the VGCC, and I'm sure OU is like dreading these guys because getting your defensive switch in Toxic is like game over. But
Which one?
let's start with Okidogi. The Okidogi.
Okie dokie.
Let's start with that one.
It's the worst.
So Okidogi, it's probably going to forego Toxic Chain on this Pokemon. I think the other two might run it. Well, the ability on Monkey Dory is Frisk, and over here we usually have open team sheets, so Frisk is actually a non-ability.
It's going to be so
Frisk
good in the GC, though.
Yeah, it'll be nice in the GC. It'll also be really good if you suspect that you're playing in a tournament with a bunch of cheaters or something, and you'd be like, all right, let's just make sure that they're actually sticking to what their sheet says. But no, that's really it, though.
If you're playing in Singapore Nationals, it'll be really good.
Oh, no. Oh, no, the counter. Okay, so Guard Dog is, like, budget defiant. If you get intimidated, your attack goes up, but it doesn't get an attack boost on anything else. Not like Icy Wind or a Moonblast special attack drop. Also, we know that VGC has a lot of moves like Roar and stuff because of Xerneas, but that you can't roar this Pokemon out. Super relevant.
Yeah, so when I track my Jetpack onto you and then intimidate you, you won't actually switch out. It's really sad.
Oh, wait, it says items too?
Yeah.
Oh, so if you try to, trick your eject button, you can't trick eject button at me when I Dynamax my Okidogi or whatever. Okay.
Yeah, we figured out the use case.
The Pokemon seems okay. It's got, like, decent bulk, 88, 115, 86. It's a fighting type in a format where we have Urshifu and Iron Hands. There might even be another fighting type that would try to take its spot. I mean, we did just get Komo-o back.
Komo-o, other Urshifu. They are two different Pokemon.
That's fair. I said Urshifu, but I didn't consider that, like, you might consider both forms of Urshifu before you consider this guy.
Apparently we got Poliwrath back. That's a fighting type, right?
Anyway. The Pokemon's got good moves, though. It's got Poison Jab or Gunk Shot. It's got Close Combat. It's got Drain Punch. It's got Bulk Up, if you want to go that route. It's got all the punches, I think. And so Ice Punch is solid into Landorus, especially because it doesn't really want to intimidate you. Ground coverage in like Stomping Tantrum, Steel, if you want like Iron Head or whatever, or high horsepower.
Does it get Iron Head? Oh,
yeah, it gets Iron Head.
Okay. So we can't actually kill
it's got a lot of moves.
Knock too.
Oh yeah, knock. Let's go knock. Honestly, I think the Mon is like, I don't know what. It feels like it's B tier in a format where like we have like a lot of Pokemon that are A tier. And so if you are looking for a specific niche or you really want to make this Pokemon work, I think you can. But I don't think it's going to be seeing a lot of usage just naturally.
Riley, what do
Probably
you
not.
think?
I agree. I agree on the B tier. I just don't see like a Pokemon that's popular that I want this in front of off the
Hmm.
top of my head.
I
Yeah,
I think that if I see this on a team sheet instead of an Iron Hands, I'm popping off. I just think that 90% of the time when you put this on the team, it's supposed to be Iron Hands.
Yeah.
It is, as some people are pointing out, like it's a fighting type that isn't weak to Fairy naturally, and so you don't have to Terra on site. That's assuming it's probably holding like an Assault Vest because specs Flutter with Moonblast and like Ruin, so that's probably still going to take it out in one. Next up, Monkey Dory. The thing that this guy has is it has Fake Out, Parting Shot, and Fake Out is kind of funny with the Toxic Chain. You can just have like, what is the percentage? I think 30.
Is it
Let me
only
check what shit
30? Man, the one
Uh,
time I played the other guy, I got Icy Wind and I got double poison. I was like, shit.
yeah, no, yeah, it's 30.
It's
It's a
30.
30% chance.
God damn.
Well, they were probably running Serene Grace. Um, anyway, yeah, so you can get like you can fake out and toxic somebody, which is like definitely funny. Would be awesome in a slower format like VGC 17 or something. But in the current format, there's like very few Pokemon that I'm looking to toxic, and like the main Pokemon that you want to toxic is like Cresselia or something, and it's just like, all right, cool, Lunar Blessing. Um, Hands is probably a decent Pokemon to get a toxic off of. This thing can also hit hands super effectively, though. It is a psychic poison type.
It's a Psychic type.
Um,
This guy
it
is good. I think this is the best one.
All right, yeah. So Adi thinks this is the best one, guys.
I think this is the
Um,
best one, and I'm never wrong. Um, and so I mean, like you said, Fake Out is good. It gets to use the Toxic Chain ability, and in GCs it gets to use Frisk, which is kind of cool. But Fake Out's really good, and Parting Shot's also fairly good when you have Fake Out specifically. And then on top of that, it has really, really good synergy and speed tiers to interact with Chiyu, which is the main reason that I think is good. Because like you get to threaten all the fighting types, and also you can Acid Spray for the Chiyu. And I think that's just it. That's all you need to do. You click Fake Out, you click Parting Shot, you click Acid Spray, you click Psychic, and those are the only four moves you need. And I think that's the reason to run them on.
um, yeah, I can get behind that. Yeah, I think this Pokemon is like just kind of like the wrong typing and wrong speed is my worry. It is still weak to Dark and Ghost, um, and Ground. Yeah, it's got like a. I mean, I know that you might be able to just like put a Focus Sash on this guy and not worry about its typing defensively. Um, but offensively, the coverage doesn't seem phenomenal either. And I don't know, like with Fake Out Parting Shot Pokemon, it's kind of nice when they can switch in like an Incin or an Alolan Persian. Whereas this guy just doesn't have the defenses to hold up kind of doing that stuff. Maybe like a slow pivot into it, like an Iron Hands Volt Switch will be decent. But other than that, I think the Pokemon has some potential. What would I say is my pick for the best one?
Right, Riley, what do you think about this guy?
I'm not going to use this. It's it's not even deserving of my time testing.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
you won't see it above 1200.
It's true. That's where I'm at.
Adi was talking about this one, and I think this one is the maybe the best of the bunch, in my opinion. Pheasantipity, Toxic Chain, I think finds its best value not on Fake Out but on spread moves, like Icy Wind and Dazzling Gleam, which this Pokemon has access to, and so that's pretty cool. It's also got like decent bulk. It's got 88 HP with a 125 SpDef. 82 defense isn't the worst either. Funnily enough, there's a Pokemon's a physical attacker. I'm just looking at that now. That's actually really sad.
Yep.
Why?
And it's a physical attacker, and all of its good moves are not its stab moves. Like, it's got good normal moves, it's got good flying moves, it's got good fairy moves. I
Wait, it is a
just,
fairy.
okay, sorry, it is a fairy, but it doesn't. Sorry, it's good special fairy moves. It doesn't have good physical. It doesn't have play rough, right?
Yeah.
So like, oh, it does
Um,
have play rough. Okay, never mind.
probably has play
Fairy
rough.
type is not the worst type for it, but like, if this guy was a flying type, I'd be on board just because it has technician dual wing beat. But
No, this thing is a defensive Pokemon. Also, it's 99 speed stat. That's actually pretty cool. Which is funny because it's slower than the monkey, but like 99 is a cooler number than 106. I'm not kidding.
as long as it's faster than Urshifu, it's fine. That's really what it is.
Yeah. So this thing, I think I would actually still run the special set. It has Roost. Yes, thank you for mentioning it, Roller Coaster. That's the main thing I was getting to is the like Roost actually pairs well with Toxic Chain, whereas like I guess Okie Dokie could kind of do it by clicking Drain Punch for sustain. The other guy, I guess, is clicking Parting Shot to let somebody else do the sustaining. This guy is doing the sustaining itself, though, with Roost and Icy Wind, Dazzling Gleam. I don't remember what the last move I saw on this thing when I played it one time on ladder, but it was with a Screens team, just spamming Dazzling Gleam, and it just toxicked my whole team, and I was like, wait, this is kind of cool, because then it just started roosting. Just spammed Roost. I do want to give like a quick shout out to the singles set, which is really funny. Just because in singles they're using beat up on it. Beat up with Toxic Chain. It's like an 80 something% chance to toxic, but like notably, this is actually relevant for us. I don't know if you guys knew this or not. Toxic Chain, it allows you to poison steel types, I'm pretty sure.
I did not know that.
Maybe I'm spreading misinformation, but I was watching
Never.
I was watching a Pokemon video and they like poisoned a Golden Go.
Oh, that's pretty
Um,
interesting.
I thought so. But maybe I'm misremembering. I swear people were saying this thing can poison steels, but I'm looking at the text and it's not saying. Toxic Chain Pokemon Steel type. Anyway.
One other fun thing I think this guy can do is that you can run Technician with Acrobatics, and then regardless of whether or not it has its item, its attack is boosted. I think that's nifty, and another reason why I wish it was Flying type.
That
What
I
were you
actually
talking about?
like. I actually like that because there's the three. Oh, the ogre pawns are all grass types, so it's gonna be weak.
Mhm.
It's gonna kill or get those super effectively if they don't Terra.
Yeah. All right, don't trust me on the poisoning steel type thing until I can find better confirmation. So don't blame me. Ogerpon is the next one that we actually get to talk about, and it has got to be the most impactful Pokemon coming in the DLC. It's a like pretty fast physical attacker with a couple different forms. I would say it's like comparable to Urshifu, except imagine if we got like 4 Urshifus. And so it has like a plain old grass form, a grass water form, grass fire form, and grass rock form. All 4 have different abilities. Defiant on the grass, Mold Breaker on the fire, Water Absorb on the water, and Sturdy on the rock. All pretty decent abilities. Water Absorb kind of holding last place like pretty clearly, but it's still like okay. And then when these guys Terra, they actually are Terra locked. They can only Terra into the secondary type or the grass type for the mono grass one. And they get this ability called Embody Aspect, which gives them a stat boost in the stats listed here on the page. And so like you get like speed on the grass one, defenses on rock and water, and attack on fire. Yeah, how do you feel about this Pokemon, Riley?
Oh my god, dude. This thing is going to be really good. It's definitely game changing. And those boosts, I heard it keeps the boost if you switch out.
Yes, it will reactivate.
Reactivate. Also,
Okay, reactivates. Okay.
by the way, It also all of these masks also just give it a 20% damage boost, just like flat damage boost on all of its moves, which is not apparently not implemented on Showdown right now. So if you've been playing Reg E on Showdown, uh, every single ogre pawn you face has done 20% less damage than it's supposed to.
Oh my god.
How fun. Yeah. For some reason, they said like, all right, yeah, like they were like, okay, Luster Orb, that's really cool. For Palkia and Dialga or whatever.
Oh, it's fixed
Um,
apparently. Never mind.
it's fixed on Showdown now. Okay. And so like, yeah, and Soldu or whatever gives like the 1.2 on stabs. But then people were like, no, this thing's doing more with superpower too, or low kick or whatever. It turns out it just gets 1.2 on all moves. Like it basically just has like a free mini life orb that doesn't do recoil. That's just silly. Why? So it's also it's like signature move is Ivy Cudgel, which is 100 base power and has a high
100 accuracy. I love
100
it.
accuracy. 100 base power, 100 accuracy, high crit chance. And it's the type of the ogre pawn, so it can be fire, rock, or water, or grass. And it's also got like a pretty good variety of grass moves to run. It has Power Whip and Woodhammer at the top of the chain, and then Grassy Glide if you want to pair it with a Rillaboom, or Horn Leech if you want to give this Pokemon like Swords Dance. I guess you could run Bullet Seed on the base form one, but that's just worse than Ivy Cudgel. Lastly, this Pokemon has Follow Me.
Follow me.
Just
Yes.
And Spiky Shield too.
and Spiky Shield. Yep. So it's got a better version of Protect, really good into all the physical attackers that are using contact moves like Iron Hands or some Shenpao, some not Shenpao. And then it has it has Follow Me. Which I don't know, this is for like the boomers that were playing back during Megas formats. But it's like most comparable to like Mega Lucario, in my opinion. Mega Lucario was like a Pokemon that ran strong stabs like Close Combat and Meteor Mash, but could click Follow Me if it wanted to support a partner Pokemon. Like in GS Cups, it was supporting Lunala or Xerneas to do things, but like if those guys wanted damage, then it could do damage. It's going to do kind of something similar, I think, in VGC. Follow Me will be mandatory on every set, but it can use Follow Me to support like a Flutter Mane, getting off one more attack than it should, while also pairing really well next to Flutter Mane as they're like Fire, Water, Grass coverage, and Dragon types are going to be the bane of these guys, kind of, but Flutter Mane still exists, so.
Yeah. It's going to be really annoying. Riley, which one's your favorite?
Fire one.
Fire one?
The one that does like a
doing the
billion
most
damage?
Yeah. It KOs a lot of things. Kills
Yeah.
hands with Sword of Ruin. Or most hands.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe
Yes.
Hands will actually have to start running physical defense to deal with this thing.
Isn't that stupid? Have you seen Iron Hands? Why is that dude running physical? Why it's not supposed to have to run physical defense. It's got too many stats.
It's KOing the 154 HP, 108 defense Pokemon when it runs no bulk in those stats at all. But that's sad that it even has to deal with a 100 base power move. The Fire one definitely seems really strong. Mold Breaker is also a really solid ability for
Once you hit Heatran,
allowing it to hit. Yeah, you can hit Heatran, which is really
ask
cool.
Roshan how. It
True.
it also resists Flutter Mane, right? And when you're clicking a redirection, two things are true. One is that Flutter Mane Moon Blast is just everywhere and you want to redirect it. But two, the most common thing to do about that is click a spread move, right? And so Flutter Mane being everywhere, Flutter Mane having Dazzling Gleam means that if you are clicking redirection, you really want your redirector to resist Dazzling Gleam. And Fire One does that. So that is one really solid part of it that the other ones don't get access to.
Yeah, the water one can also do pretty well into Flutter Mane. Actually, I'm about to mention why all of them could do well into Flutter Mane, because the water one gets a special defense boost on Terra. The rock one has natural focus sash in sturdy, so it can trade with Flutter Mane pretty well if you want. And the grass one gets that speed boost, which will allow it to outspeed Flutter Mane if it's not really like booster energy. So yeah, it's kind of nuts how good all these guys are.
I gotta go in 5 minutes, but I do want to hear what your guys' favorites are.
I like the rock one a lot. I think that the rock one sturdy means that you could be very ignorant with the way you play it. You get to guarantee yourself taking 2 shots with redirection, or you can just play it as an attacker and not have to worry too much about taking any attacks except for Urshifu attacks, obviously. But you do outspeed Urshifu if they're not scarfed, and you do have a grass stab to kill it. And so I think you do fairly well into Urshifu unless they click Tailwind, in which case, they're already spending their 2 attacks into killing you anyways. So I like the rock one a lot. I think it has a lot of potential.
We just saw the Amoongus with Focus Sash get second, so here we go. We get a free Focus Sash on it.
Yeah, that's actually. I'm glad that you brought up Amoongus. Amoongus is definitely going to be competing for the grass slot on a lot of teams. It definitely will still be a good Pokemon. You can never count out Amoongus. But this is a grass type that doesn't get Rage Powder, but instead gets Follow Me, which means it will redirect the Spore. And, Amoongus can make the read and go for a Pollen Puff, which is super effective against, 3 out of the 4. But it's definitely going to have a hard time dealing with some of these guys. So, yeah, I think that that's another really interesting thing. Anyway, my favorite one, kind of for the sake of us picking 3 different ones, but also it was one that I just liked a lot, the water one. I like the fire and the water ones best because having 2 out of 3 of a fire, water, grass core in one Pokemon is really strong. It allows you to kind of condense team slots, and then the coverage on those moves is just really good. Fire plus grass or water plus grass. So I'll say the water one because it can run a really solid bulky set, I think.
Yeah. It makes Scarf Urshifu a little worse because just click Follow Me if they're locked in a Surging.
Yep. I love that. It's just like, yeah, it's the Pokemon is, it's going to be very strong, and the fire one's definitely going to do some oppressive stuff. But the Pokemon also, because it has Follow Me, allows you to do fun, creative stuff with it that I'm really looking forward to. So, unlike Urshifu, I mean, maybe I'll come to dread this Pokemon, but right now I'm not really dreading it. I think it's actually just pretty fun.
I'm dreading it. I'm dreading the fire one. The other ones are healthy. The fire one.
Yeah. The fire one.
Fire one looks a little unhealthy. Yeah.
Also, we got confirmation in chat after beating up a bunch of Fortress. Toxic Chain does not seem to poison Steel types.
All right, thanks for running that. I don't know where I got that misinformation from, but I love spreading misinformation. So, tell all your friends that it does poison Steel types. Anyway, all right, yeah. So appreciate you being on though, Riley. If you have to head out, that's no worries. Me and Adi can take care of the rest from here.
Cool. Thanks for having me.
Yep, appreciate it.
Thanks for being on. All right, you take care.
Thanks. Bye.
See ya. All right, this is the special.
What was that?
He kept talking like he knew me, but
I actually don't know this guy. See, Riley jumping off is the perfect time for me to mention that I played Riley earlier this year when I got top 4 at Milwaukee. I played him in the last round of Swiss. We had a pretty sweaty three games, but I did come out the victor. So what does that make me? Basically the Pittsburgh regional champion. I don't know. I mean, yeah, he won Pittsburgh, but did he beat me? No. Anyways, we have one more Pokemon to talk about, Adi. I mean, we could probably talk a lot about Ogerpon, but I think in the coming weeks we'll talk a lot about Ogerpon. So let's move on.
All right.
This Pokemon's not going anywhere.
I'm going to add Nails to the call because he said he'd join.
Oh, why not?
Yeah. All right.
You gotta.
I just added him to the group.
Yeah, you should get him in here, right? Because that's better.
Because that way I don't have to change anything.
I was going back up. Hello, Nick.
Hello.
Nick, you're just in time for us to talk about the last of the new Pokemon in Ursaluna Blood Moon. I think you like this guy.
He's okay. He deals a lot of damage. Hi, Gina.
That's true. Gina did just come through. And then she's gone.
Oh.
Anyways, yeah, I think the Pokemon is, like you said, just okay, not broken. However, kind of comparing it to Ogerpon, I think it can run a lot of sets.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So I mean, it's got Blood Moon. Obviously, that thing does so much damage. Crappy just lets it spam normal moves. For anyone who's familiar with Explode, it's actually pretty comparable to Explode. Explode is Scrappy Boom Burst, which is 140 base power normal special move. Blood Moon Ursulina just has like 40 more special attack.
Mhm.
And Stab Earth Power, which pairs really, really well with scrappy normal moves.
And this move is single target.
Boom Burst hits everybody, and this is single target. But
And if you do want spread, it does have Hyper Voice, so it can do that too, although not nearly as strong.
yep, still quite strong. So both of those moves are sound moves. So you can run Throat Spray if you're into that.
Wait, both?
Blood Moon's not a sound.
Yeah, both moves are sound moves. I think. Like
Blood Moon's not a
Moon,
sound move. You're capping on that one.
I'm not 100% sure, but I think it is.
Nah, it's not a sound move.
Oh, seriously? Oh, okay.
But Throat Spray is still one of the viable sets because of Hyper Voice. You can run Hyper Voice, Earth Power, and Blood Moon.
He can do some funny stuff with it, like AV Iron Hands drops to Throat Spray into +1 Terra Normal Blood Moon, so you can just like get your spread damage off, and if the Iron Hands is sitting there, you can pop your Terra Normal and say, "Buddy, what you doing here?" And that's just a lot of pressure on an that doesn't want to run a Terra to resist it, and usually the Iron Hands is going to be one of the trick room responses, and so just being able to blow it out like that is pretty nifty.
Mm-hmm.
We also saw that this mon gets Calm Mind. We talked about Sinistra earlier being a really good stat line for Calm Mind. There's another Pokemon that really enjoys Calm Mind. It's got a 113 HP with a 65 defense, special defense.
Special defense.
And so, with a 120 defense, like if the Pokemon's got turns to get Calm Mind up, whether it's using like a supporting Pokemon like a Follow Me from Ogerpon or Rage Powder from Sinistra, to mention the new guys, or Mungus or Clefairy. There's a lot of good redirection options.
Clefairy is one of my besties. But yeah, like all of them offer their own stuff. Honestly, we just usually don't have this many viable redirectors that are all like offering their own stuff, but also aren't just like strictly outclassed by one of them. Amoonguss is the best one, but Rage Powder is worse at supporting like hard setup. So
especially a Pokemon that is weak to grass.
Yeah. So
go ahead.
Yeah, just lots of different ways that you can potentially build Calm Mind Ursulina if you're into that. I'm not super convinced by it, for what it's worth. I think that the coverage ends up being lacking regardless of which option you go with. And
it's hard to cut a move.
And there's not an immediately clear item that is just best. Like I was enjoying the Throat Spray set when I was laddering with it. But,
yeah, mentioning items, that's the last two sets I wanted to talk about. I think Choice Specs has some viability, and its stat line lines up with Calm Mind, which means it also kind of lines up with Assault Vest.
Choice
those
Specs
are the two attacks that
does have one
What's
problem.
up?
Choice Specs does have one problem, right? And I
With
don't think we
Blood
mentioned
Moon.
it when we were talking about Blood Moon. You can't use it twice in a row. It is a Gigaton Hammer Club. So
Yeah.
if your Specs Blood
Yeah.
Moon, you get one attack off and you're forced to switch out or struggle, I think.
Yeah, you're just trying to do your Sylveon impression, which is not bad, but it's not. There's something about it that just feels off.
The Mon's got a lot of solid moves that I could run alongside those main three: Blood Moon, Hyper Voice, and Earth Power. That gets access to Vacuum Wave, funnily enough. And I think everyone's still looking for the answer why. And gets Moonblast. And I'm actually looking. It also. Oh no, I'm probably looking at the. I thought it got Headlong Rush. Maybe it
I wouldn't be
does.
surprised if it does.
No, it does. It does get Headlong Rush. That's funny.
That's a calc is right.
Let's run Headlong Rush. Calcs with the wrong one.
Wait, it gets Headlong? Really?
Yeah,
Oh, wait. No, it doesn't.
No,
Does it? Oh, it
I don't
totally
know.
does. Never mind. Yeah, it does.
Does that thing pick up Flutter?
When it's burned, no way. That's my calc, by the way.
Ooh, that's a good calc too.
Yeah, it seems to get headlong rush. Anyways, that's about it for this guy. Let's go ahead and talk about the returning Pokemon.
Okay, no. I got it. You run Terra Blast because it's a normal move, and it hits whatever you want it to, and then you can Terra out, and it's not a normal move anymore.
That's the last move on a
Yeah.
spec or something.
That way you get to be like a really shitty Sylveon.
All right, sure, yes.
It's just not normal.
Yeah. Okay.
Arbok, Sandslash. No, I think we can skip those two.
Wait, where's the Arbok? I have the Arbok copy. I've used it already.
The Arbok. Okay. The first up that I think is interesting and worth talking about is Clefairy. Clefairy got one new tool that I can think of. Oh no, maybe two off the top of my head. It has Knockoff. It has Nightshade. It's got a variety of good moves.
Did it always
kinda
get
what
Moonlight? It must have always gotten Moonlight.
It has
It's
Life
heavy
Dew
good.
and Heal Pulse if you want to keep your partners alive. It has
It's got
Icy
Chilling
Wind.
Water. Chilling Water's new.
It does have Chilling Water, funnily enough.
That one's probably viable.
It also has Gravity if you're like on a weird Trick Room team or something.
It's got Skill Swap,
and-
so I can Skill Swap my Dipplin with Friend Guard, and then I can also Claire still can Sing.
Oh wait, actually, here's something interesting: is you could run Gravity next to Ursaluna Blood Moon so that your Headlong Rush can hit Pheasantipity.
We're in way too deep on this one.
Okay, so the mod has a lot of moves. It has Friend Guard. Friend Guard is super awesome. Just like one of the best abilities to ever do it. And like Dipplin, it can run Eviolite, but is it outclassed by Dipplin? Yes. Next question. So let's move on to talking about Ninetales. We have two of them.
We do have two of them.
Who's your favorite?
My favorite is Tornadus. That guy beats both of them. I love it.
It
It's so
sure
fun.
does. That's a good weather setter right there.
Yeah,
Right.
I like Ninetales seems like it has potential. It's got like regular Kanto Ninetales. Seems like it has potential. Because of the Paradox Pokemon, you can also enable Fire Ogerpon or a Heatran or a Chi-Yu. Bit of type overlap there is the main thing holding it back. But yeah, I'm actually like, what's up with the learn sets on this Pokemon? It just learns everything as Vulpix, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Down at the bottom, maybe.
Okay. Now let's move on to the good Ninetales. Alola Ninetales. So Auroraville is like one of the best moves in the game. Like for my money, I think it's the best move in the game. Just getting the amount of like just power that is packed into that one move is kind of insane. Like it's a massive buff for your team that you get to do in one turn. You just have to find your opening and then get your veils off, and then your team is just really, really heavily buffed for 5 to 8 turns. So that's that's kind of where I'm at on Ninetales, is that it does one really powerful thing, and you have to get time to do it, and you have to not let it get disrupted by opposing weather. Manual Sun is the biggest pitfall for that, or Manual Rain. Tornadus is definitely the most common weather setter, which honestly probably isn't even that far off of its canon. But
Adi, you
But
should
here's what
go grab. Here, Adi, put up on screen while we talk about it. Go grab that one team that topped the ladder.
Oh,
So
yeah,
let's just
someone
tweet
tweeted
it out. They've literally tweeted it out.
So here's the thing that you're right. It is such a powerful move. Auroraville is, and then my question is like, okay, but what usage do you think Urshifu is going to have? Right, like 50% usage. What usage is Tornadus going to have? Another 25, and then what usage is Ogerpon going to have? Right, also probably like 50 across his forms, if not higher. And all of them have a high crit rate on their best move. And so all of a sudden, like, I mean, I know you are familiar with this, but like, you are just asking to get crit out of the game if you're spending turns and using a mediocre Pokemon to set up screens. Ignoring the fact that the best Pokemon in the format already crits through screens.
Yeah. So the other three Pokemon on the team, Ninetales is going to be really good against, or the Auroville is going to be really good against them, and so you just have to not invest too many resources in getting your Veils up, and you have to have a bunch of Urshifu counterplay, and you have to like basically just make sure that it's worth it before you run it. But if those boxes are ticked, then like Ninetales is going to be a good member of your team.
Yeah, I think Moonblast is good right now with how it deals with Urshifu. The buff to hail, becoming snow is really good for Ninetales right now. And its speed tier is like bad and good. It is slower than Torn and Ogerpon, which is kind of brutal, but faster than like Chi-Yu, which is cool. Faster than Monkey Dory, which is like kind of massive, you know.
Yep.
Nobody wants to be slower than Monkey Dory. Oh no, this one might be running slower than Monkey Dory. What are you doing? Oh no. Anyway,
But yeah, this is the team that Ice Beam VGC used to get top 100 in the ladder. I thought they were higher than that, but 80% GXE means they had a very solid win rate to get there. They posted their paces, so this is a Ninetales team if you're looking for it, and I think it does pretty much have like a lot of the Pokemon that you kind of expect to really be able to abuse screens. I think that the Ogerpon is a pretty useful guy to abuse screens. I think that Fluttermane obviously is always there. Flutter Chi is just so good that you can use it and you can't. And also like Ninetales needs some help doing damage. I see what's pretty cool too. I see what does give you a speed advantage. So yeah, solid Ninetales team.
yeah.
Yep.
So anyways, after Ninetales, we have we talked about other Ninetales. Not Poliwrath, not Victory Bell, but Golem. We've been waiting to talk about Golem.
Dude, I think the what's it called? Alolan Golem is like just like one of the coolest Pokemon. He's just so cool. But like he sucks. He's so bad. And I wish he was good.
Yeah.
He sucks.
We get both, I'm
We get
assuming.
both. I think we get both, yeah.
What abilities does the other one have? I thought it had something interesting.
It has
Never-
Galvanize, which is an interesting ability.
Oh yeah, Electric Type Boom
And then also Sturdy. But Galvanize is cool.
and Magnet Pull if you want to trap in the Heatran. Yeah, cool. All right.
The Golden Bell?
Trap the Golden Goat. Wait. Next up we have Weezing. Let's go Weezing. Big fan of Weezing. I'd argue I'm Weezing's biggest fan. And yeah, this guy has it's got some new tools. I think it has Gunk Shot and Play Rough now on the physical one, or like on the the Play Rough on the Galarian one. But if you want to run it physically,
I would play the Alex Weezing gif, but last time I put that on YouTube, I got copyright struck by the NFL, so I don't get to put that up anymore. Sorry, go ahead.
Tough.
I remember
It's a
that
really
GIF.
good GIF.
Damn, I forgot about that one. Can you post that in our server? I need to see it again. I forgot about it.
I'm
Put that in
pretty
my
sure
channel,
have
man.
it
I need to
favorited.
be spamming that again. I love that game. We can't put it up. Are you sure? Can we like cut it short? The NFL really gonna... All right.
I did rip it from a video, like from the NFL YouTube channel, so it does make sense. But yeah, I can't.
Okay, if you want to see the GIF, send me a Discord DM, and I will I'll send it to you.
Don't tell the NFL though. Okay, so
who's Seattle's running back? It, I can't believe I'm blanking on this. It's just like the really like the run of the decade that he made, and Regigigas and Weezing are supporting, or he's the Regigigas and Weezing supporting him. And,
All right, we're gonna do this in small chunks. I've
I'll
heard
be
that
honest,
it's hard- it's
Swizzle
hard
Dizzle, the that's a +1 teams. I thought they were supposed to be bad on purpose. They are not good looking teams. Okay, so kind of like Rajan's tweets. Anyways, let's start talking about Weezing. The Pokemon has like a pretty. It doesn't have like a crazy flexible moveset, but it's just like one of the coolest Pokemon to come in the DLC because it's so game warping. With neutralizing gas, of course. Neutralizing gas is really cool. It also has access to levitate, so you can turn off all abilities and be immune to ground, while also setting up misty terrain. And no, I gotta stop memeing and start talking about Weezing. They go hand in
Wait,
hand. I'm
and
so
it has
sorry.
stench too. That's crazy.
So the other fun thing to talk about Weezing getting access to is an item that you might have thought was just used for raids. It actually has two uses now. Ability Shield. Ability Shield does two things. One, it protects you from neutralizing gas disabling your ability. So if you wanted a Pokemon to still have an ability next to Weezing, you can. And two, the other cool thing about Ability Shield is it ignores Mold Breaker ignoring you. It's like kind of backwards, weird. But basically, the quick version to help people understand it is if you put an Ability Shield on Heatran, that Mold Breaker Ogerpon cannot hit you with a fire move. It will still activate Flash Fire. I guess the way that Mold Breaker is coded is like it's a way to like change your ability to nothing, and Ability Shield is like you can't change my ability. I don't know. But just know that Ability Shield is a cool option for Weezing teams, or if you want to, mess around against the fire type Ogerpon.
You can lead Ability Shield Tornadus next to Weezing and Tailwind Gunk Shot the Fluttermane. It's glorious.
Wait,
Also,
is it fast enough to do that? Oh yeah, it is. It is.
An important Weezing thing that you should know is that Protosynthesis and the other one, Cork Drive, are immune to neutralizing gas. So if you lead a Booster Energy Fluttermane or Booster Energy Roaring Moon or Booster Energy Bundle or whatever with next to Weezing, it will still proc, it will still get its boost.
Yep. Those ones are immune. However, Ogerpon's is not. It looked like it might be because it's almost like a form change. But that ability does get disabled. Commander does also get disabled. And so it won't cause Dondozo Tatsugiri to like deform if they've already combined, but it will prevent the combination, which is really cool.
You can't make them divorce, but you can stop the marriage.
Exactly. Great way to put it. So the next Pokemon we have is Snorlax.
Did Weezing get any cool moves? Sorry, I was just looking through Weezing. Did it get anything new? Or is it just
Yeah,
the
I
same
mentioned that
thing?
at the
Yeah,
top.
Gunk Shot and Play Rough.
Yeah,
Oh,
Gunk Shot and Play Rough. I mentioned at the top.
Okay.
Yeah. So next up is Snorlax, and I want it to be good. I think that it's past its time, unfortunately.
It needs Pinch Fairy's back. That's really all there is to it. That's what made it so good in Gen 7.
Yep. This thing has access to Heavy Slam, which is fun. And now let's move on. The next one, of course, is we got a new Follow Me user. We also got a new Tidy Up user. Basically, Mousehold, you're out of a job. Furret's here. And it's looking cute as ever. No. Let's keep going.
I mean, and you get Frisk. This is a GC mod for sure.
Because they won't know what it's doing. We got Politoed,
Unless
which means, of course, Pelipper's out of a job. I posted that weather tweet, which, by the way, for all the real fans, need to know that that was bad on purpose. I don't know why I got over 1,000 likes. The weather tweet, a number of people replied because I was like, "Oh, Politoed's here," and then they were like, "Yeah, Pelipper, like you're done." And I'm like, "No, like Pelipper's not done." That like, yes, we have a new option. Politoed is mainly enjoying the fact that it's like not weak to rock. That's about it. I guess it doesn't take 4x from freeze dry.
It can live and attack from
No.
your hands. It helps.
No,
That's fair.
Politoed's niche is that it clicks Muddy Water. And it's like the best Muddy Water learner in the decks. Like none of
Before
the
everybody
Swift-
yells at us, yes, it also does have Perish. That is probably the main thing. but
None of the Swift swimmers get muddy water. So if you want a rain abuser, click muddy water. Polytoad's your guy.
Wow.
Slap a
Just
choice specs on that bad boy.
disrespecting
Run
Test
run the fake out icy wind Ludicolo. Poly Ludi has a new form this gen. Polytoad's the carry now, and Ludicolo is the support, and they're back. And I haven't really tested it. I'm not actually that optimistic, but I think it's like at least cool on paper. And let me know if it works for you. This is just my brainchild, but yeah.
Nick is looking to outsource his testing. He's like, I ain't wasting time on that, but if you feel like your time isn't valuable,
If you think that
please.
Polytoad is good, you should pay me for coaching, and then you can test
And then you
it
can
for
play
me.
test for me. Exactly.
Okay. So we got no, I'm looking like I was like, we have Apom, gotta wait for that guy to evolve. Yanmo, gotta wait for that.
Okay,
Glider, gotta wait for that guy to evolve.
Ludicolo's up next.
Yes, Ludicolo.
Yeah, so Ludicolo gets a lot of cool support moves.
Important
But you
important
can
news.
put next to your Polytoad.
Do you have the link? Ludicolo does not dance anymore. It doesn't dance.
It still dances in battle. It dances in battle. It does not
Also-
dance in the screen.
There was only
They-
5
but-
minutes that we thought it had Dancer.
Oh.
Anyway.
It was
also
5 minutes
minutes.
on stream while John and I were playing the DLC. We were like, wait a second. We were being told things. We were like, wait, it has Dancer? That's crazy. Did not have Dancer. Really sad. I wish it had Dancer. If it had Dancer, it'd be good. Like,
Yeah, you could actually do like fake out quiver dance, and just get 2 quiver dances. That would have been really cool.
mhm.
That was the 5 minutes that we thought Ludicolo had quiver dance. We were very hyped, and we came up with all the game plans for it, and it was gonna cut a regional near you.
All right,
Joke's
next
on
Pokemon
you.
though.
I don't
Shift
have
Tree.
regionals near me.
That's tough.
All right, we got Shiftry. Sorry, Bramblegast, you're out of a job too. Shiftry is
wait.
basically a just completely direct upgrade.
Yeah.
What?
No, it's not. I was gonna say, do you think Ludicolo has a niche, or do you think it's just like, or on rain teams?
I mean, it definitely has a niche, but it's a rain attacker.
I kind of put it on the same level as what we were talking about Okidogi earlier. It's probably like B tier in a format where the A tier is so bloated.
Well,
Um,
my thought was like, man, you already got Urshifu as a rain abuser. You've already got Basculin Legion as a rain abuser that also just has a crazy stat spread. You've got
And Ludicolo beats both of them, baby.
yeah, let's go.
and
The
you've
rain
got-
counter.
and you've got what's his name? You've got Ogrepon, who can also be a rain abuser with his water form. And
Yeah, I don't know why you're still talking about Ludicolo, audio.
I don't know.
Move on.
I wanted to know what you thought.
I think it's
I
B
mean-
tier in a format where a lot of the guys you mentioned are A tier. Basculin Legion probably
Okay.
also falls down in the B tier.
Okay, Shiftry. We can not talk about this one either. This one, Wind Rider's really cool. It's cool that it got it. It's not going to be good.
No,
I
that's all
mean,
you can say about
it
it.
can tail in for itself. That's cool. But
That is very funny.
not cool enough.
Yeah, Kilowattrel did that too.
Mm-hmm.
How did it work out?
All
All right,
Illumin.
Tornadus.
What? Illumin.
Tornadus, you're out of a job too. We got a new prankster tailwind setter. Illumise and Shiftry, basically the new Tornadus Bramblegast. These guys would go crazy in not even a regional deck, something smaller than that. What?
VGC Yu. In
Um,
Series
a
6,
mid-season showdown
they're
deck.
going to go crazy.
We need the MSS decks.
We need, right? This would do really well in
I mean,
a
we've
regional
got-
deck. In a
We got
regional
regional
deck.
decks. We got national decks. We got world decks. Where's the MSS decks?
MSS. I followed the joke now. I was going to say something similar and say that it does well in a regional decks at the Premier Challenge level when you're playing against juniors and seniors. So, moving on. Crawdont. We've got a lot better water type Pokemon here
okay.
in singles. Premier Challenge.
Illumise does have Encore. That is the one thing I went through its move pool. That's the one thing I can justify using it for. But yeah, that's about it.
Ooh, we got.
Crawdont?
Am I allowed to skip past Milo?
Wait, what happened to Crawdont?
No, it gets stalled.
I don't think we talk about Crawdont.
That's
Crawdont's
true.
never really been good in VGC, and this is not the format for it to pop
We
off.
can tell people why adaptability doesn't work with Terra for the 4th time.
Okay.
That's true.
We cannot do that.
Moving on, Milo. I would love to skip past Milo, but I think some like the bad players like Adi won't let me. And so
I'm a number one Milo hater. I have never used Milo.
okay, thank goodness. Honestly, finally something got in I can agree on. People write that down. Yeah, it's bad.
Okay.
Yeah, competitive.
I
I don't
don't think
know.
it's that bad. Like Scald is kind of just a broken move. It does get stat checked by Flutter, but I mean, so do a lot of mons that get used, and like
If only
they
there
still
was
do other
another
things.
water type competitive user that doesn't lose to Fluttermane.
There sure is. We don't know if that guy's good. He's like potentially better, but like Grassy Seed Milo can just recover up a lot.
It gets life due, which is fun.
That's something.
It probably just wants to be used and recovered, but
It gets
regardless,
safeguard.
Gets
yeah, it's
coil.
Remember when we were looking for safeguard users?
It gets
oh,
coil hypnosis. We can bring that set back.
it actually gets safeguard.
Yeah, it gets safeguard by level up.
That's interesting. Yeah, okay. Now if it gets to be a bulky mon that doesn't care about spore, that is definitely something. Like it still very much cares about rage powder. Like it's gonna have 4 move slot syndrome, but
You just hypno them.
I
'cause
don't think
it's
safeguard
okay.
saves this
It
one. Let's
does.
talk about Dusclops,
Let's
It
please.
talk
doesn't
about
get muddy water.
Dusclops
It's
is
sketch.
Dusclops is cool. It would have been really cool like last format, I think, when we were just like dying for bulky Pokemon that didn't lose to Urshifu. But yeah, it's just got. I mean, if you played in Sword and Shield, you remember this guy. It's just super bulky. 40, 130, 130 defenses plus Eviolite is crazy. It gets Nightshade for very consistent damage, and it is just a fantastic Trick Room setter. Pain Split as well as like pseudo recovery, and actually works really well with the low HP stat. So that's kind of like the rundown on what Dusclops does. A little worse when you
It's
can't use it to proc an Eviolite, but still I think very very strong.
it's quite a bit worse than it was last gen, but it was awesome last gen, and it's definitely viable. It's just not the like omnipresent Trick Room setter that lives through a turn of Dynamax and gets Trick Room up so that you can win with your Dynamax. Like it still gets Trick Room up exactly once, and then you have to win the game before you run out of Trick Room turns, or Pokemon that are like optimized to not just work with Dynamax like run it over afterward.
Anyone?
Um,
I was thinking like maybe you run Poltergeist on it to hit Fluttermane, and then remember that Fluttermane is just randomly like immune to Poltergeist half the time. Isn't it messed up that Pokemon is just immune to the best Ghost type move half the time? That's fucked up.
It
that is
really
kind of messed up.
Also,
But yeah, no, it does have 70
uh,
attacks. That probably picks up Flutter, but like leaves it wanting for damage. Otherwise,
also Knockoff coming back at the same time as Dusclops is a little sad because that is Dusclops' number one enemy.
yeah, and number 2 is Amoonguss.
I wanted to see the. I
No,
mean, Nick.
Dusclops
I don't
is
know
just,
if
like,
Nick. I don't know if anybody called you and told you this, but Amoonguss is dead. Amoonguss is
Oh,
completely gone.
right, yeah. Yeah, no, I missed out on that. That's good info because we have Safeguard Monolithic.
Amoonguss is down to 11% usage.
That's
Dang.
crazy.
Poor Amoonguss.
I hope I
Okay.
only play one Amoonguss in 9 rounds, so my next regional.
Dang. I was looking for the best because like Dusclops was like pretty all right in the Sword and Shield era. I was trying to find the best finishing one at Worlds, and it did not make it into the top cut.
Yeah, it's a
Like
lot
the
worse when
top 20.
Calric Shadow is in the format.
Yeah. You know, it was good throughout 20 and 21, and then fell off by Series 12.
And Lunala
But
was in the
I mean,
format,
that's
right? Like, yeah, you couldn't use it in that format.
yeah, it was good until then. But yeah, no, its shtick is that it gets Trick Room up once, and you better win in those turns.
Which is also Cressalia's
because
shtick,
it,
so like, I hope you have a reason to use it. For
Crest does that, and also does quite a bit more afterward. Yeah, no, I do think it's tough to justify Dusclops over Crest.
Are you guys doing team reviews? Asks someone in chat, and not right now. We're currently doing a podcast, so yeah, sorry. We're talking about all the new Pokemon in Regulation E. And I think that I think we've kind of done the spiel at Dusclops. Nick, do you have anything to add?
Not really. Like, yeah, it's outclassed by Crest a lot of the time. Will-O-Wisp is a cool option, but it's not that cool.
Oh,
And
all right.
Uh,
That I looked. It's not even. There wasn't a single one in day 2 of Worlds. It's over. This guy's
You know,
retired. I'm sorry,
well,
Ghost Pops.
all right.
it wasn't a
Now,
format. Like,
Speaking of follow me users, we do have Jirachi. Jirachi's pretty nuts.
when we get Series 13 in this format, it's gonna go so crazy.
Love that.
yeah, Jirachi's insane.
So shout outs to my boy Torterra, the best starter from this generation, who now has Shell Smash. And also, if you've seen it, Terrastalize, the hat does not go on its shell; it goes on its tree. So it's probably the coolest Pokemon to possibly Terra in the game.
There's got to be some other funny ones that beat it out. Like I think Mimikyu's got a funny one.
I've heard there's a really funny. I've heard what's it called? Sojourner looks really funny when you Terra it.
I think Infernape, is like definitely solid. Probably the most VGC relevant of the Sinnoh trio
I don't know.
in years past.
Oh, okay. Historic.
In years past, perhaps, yes.
Yeah. Sorry,
It has-
years past.
And
It
you're
has
not just saying
top-rated
that
worlds
because
before.
you are the only person to use it in a VGC relevant way, right?
Well, dude, Justin Karras took my Infernape team and cut worlds with it. All right,
I also brought Infernape to that Worlds.
that's that. See, it's an Infernape. It was an Infernape worlds. Anyway, I don't know if this guy got anything new. Well, it's too.
I got the Raging Fury, the fire type.
Oh,
outrage.
it did actually get something new then. It got what is this? Fire Outrage.
Yeah.
Not very good.
Yeah,
but
no,
funny.
it's not good, but it's new.
It did get something. Maybe like singles players will use that. Okay, because like we're not going to be using Torterra with Shell Smash or not. But I was just thinking that it was kind of like unfair that Empoleon and Torterra got these nice buffs, and I was like, what did Infernape get? Okay,
Okay.
let's talk
but
about
shouldn't-
Empoleon.
Shouldn't Shell Smash allow you to de-Terra your Torterra?
Okay, Empoleon
Just like the two
lost
falls off.
Defiance in just in place of or like just replaced by competitive. So that's just like an upgrade on a special attacking Pokemon. Like people used to actually run like Metal Claw on this thing, so I don't even know if it got on here. Maybe it did.
Can you name the only person that I know of, so only person, let's say, since 2017 to cut a regional with Empoleon?
No, I cannot.
I cannot name the only person that you know of.
I think there's only one since 2017.
Who's it?
It's Bingji. Bingji cut California regionals in 2019 with an Empoleon.
That's nice. Yeah, the Mon's got like pretty solid defenses, a slow speed, a decent special attack on a really good typing. Water
Yeah.
Steel is
It's
really
got a good
cool.
ability, and it's got good enough damage moves.
It's got such good typing too. Typing crazy.
Yeah. Like, it just ticks a lot of boxes. I would not be surprised to see Empoleon, like,
It gets flip turn.
make a little... I didn't know that.
I didn't know
That's
that.
funny. I mean,
Fliptur's pretty cool on like maybe an Assault Vest set. I can see it.
I don't think Flip Turn's going to get that much value. Like, if you're just kind of like a slow bulky mon, you don't really want to be... like, you want to be trading damage, usually. You don't want to be taking damage and just, like...
Doing nothing back.
not giving the hit back. But yeah, just like Hydro Pump, Ice Beam, Flash
Wait,
Cannon.
Hold on. Important
Grass.
note. Nash, what are you saying? It does or doesn't take half from Salt Cure? Because if it takes half from Salt Cure, that's very funny.
Nash says it doesn't, which sounds correct.
It's only 25%. All right. Well, Garganacl hasn't been relevant in a minute, but God,
That's
that
good
would be
info.
funny. That would be very funny if you switched your Empoleon in and just took 50% residual.
If you hate Hydro Pump because of the accuracy, you are a coward, and like hate your moves. But it does get an 80 base power water move and water pledge.
Ambipom, I'm gonna skip that guy. Yanmega.
It can also brine.
uh,
I'm still just talking about Empoleon. Empoleon's good.
No. It's not that good.
Okay.
I think it's viable.
Does Mamoswine get Peck? That's
I
the
don't think so.
That is the important one.
It
God,
would get
I
the Terra base power.
Z.
So, for context, the running joke was that they removed Peck from Mamoswine's move pool because they didn't want it to use Max Airstream last generation, and so I don't think it got it back.
I'm pretty sure I saw like a video of Mamoswine using what's the Z move? Nobody tell me. Hold on. Supersonic Sky Strike?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
You know,
There was a
that's
video of
right.
it using it.
Yeah.
And it was awesome because it was like that animation was designed for birds, and this mammoth is just flying at you. It was so cool.
Mamoswine is historically like finds its place somehow in these sort of formats.
Yeah, I agree.
Ice
No.
Ground is phenomenal offensive type coverage, and has been for the entire history of Pokemon. But yeah, Mamoswine it's probably not its time right now. It gets horsepower. It gets Icicle Crash. I think it gets Icicle Spear.
I was willing to talk about them on if they give it Headlong Rush and Glacial Lance, but no.
It gets-
Okay,
jokes aside,
if it got Glacial Lance, it would be a Mamoswine format.
it would be. A
That guy would be pulling at like 30% usage.
If the existence of Urshifu is enough to deny Ursaluna, I think it's enough to deny Mamoswine. I think that's just the sad truth. I think Urshifu is just that awesome.
Yeah. Yeah,
I mean,
I
Urshifu
love getting a
gets knocked
DLC
down
with a
at
bunch of cool
five,
Pokemon
yes.
that have been good in VGC years past, and they just can't hold up against these stupid.
Urshifu
Yeah,
and
love-
Fluttermane and Iron Hands.
Urshifu,
Love
Fluttermane,
it.
Iron Hand, now Ogerpon is in the same boat. If you can't like sort of deal with the Ogerpon forms, you're not worth using. So yeah, Rillaboom.
It's definitely like new toy syndrome, but just like to let people know, I think Ogerpon generically is #1 in usage. Like it's a very good Pokemon. It'll probably be seeing a lot of usage, but yeah, if you go like to Peakalytics, which is like sometimes a good source of info, sometimes not. It has like a cumulative like 40-ish something percentage between all the forms.
for
That
what
does
it's
not
just-
sound like it to be #1 in usage in a Fluttermane format.
that sounds like it's #5 in usage. That's 40%
I,
cumulatively.
okay, Fluttermane is at 41%, so.
I mean, looking at like usage in regionals, right? We had like 4 Pokemon that were about 50% usage at Sacramento.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Ogerpon, for what it's worth, if you combine it, it's still probably 3rd or 4th. I think it's still Fluttermane. And then if we're combining Ogerpon, we might as well combine Urshifu forms and say that's #2. But then you could convince me that it overtakes Iron Hands. I don't know if it does, but you could convince me that it does.
Speaking of overtaking Iron Hands, Conkeldurr will not be overtaking them.
Conkeldurr had I think someone said this, think about it in nails. You know, Conkeldurr had a good run as a VGC viable Pokemon with absolutely no changes. 3 generations is pretty good.
Yeah. So, Conkeldurr might... Actually, I can just say this for calc is right. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's just... Iron Hands is that guy and Conk is not. Mach Punch, especially in a Terra format, just is not enough to justify the stats that Iron Hands has relative to Conk. And Conk is not even a weak Pokemon. It hits hard. Just it's not enough.
Next up, we got
I want to congratulate.
Chandelure.
Hold up. I want to congratulate Conkeldurr on their retirement. You know, good for them. Congratulations on 3 hard years of work. 5 hard years of work? When is 3 generations of work? You know, really, they worked for like 18 years or something stupid like that.
Yeah, no, it came out of nowhere in Gen 8 and just like said, yo, I'm actually like a good Dynamax guy, run Thunder Punch on me and I can hit Togekiss. Like, he had a shockingly good Gen 8, but yeah, it's just not it.
And this dude, like, he worked for it. You know, he's carrying lumber, he's carrying planks, he's carrying rocks. Like, he had a full-time job for you know, a full 15 years. He deserves to retire.
Yeah.
Chandelure, another Pokemon that I kind of consider retired. I mean, like, this does get Trick Room on a Ghost type with a 145 special attack stat. That's kind of cool. But I think it's going to be hard to justify this thing over a Flutter or a Chi-Yu.
Give it Shadow Tag. That's what it needs.
This is precisely the Pokemon that she was power creeping.
Yeah, pretty much.
Shandy was good for a little while in like Series 2. It did survive a little bit in Gen 8. It deserves that, but yeah.
Mian Xiao is just like
No,
fine. I don't
we
think
don't
it's
have
gonna be
space
good
for more
in-
fighting types. That's really what it is, I think.
Yeah,
Unless you're like very, very
Mandibuzz, as Nick put earlier. I don't know. I'm stealing this from
Yeah.
Nick. He said like it would be really good in the Series 1 format.
Oh,
So,
it would have been straight up S tier. Having Overcoat, being Prankster Immune Talon, like it just would have been able to roost off a lot of the stuff that like the Goldengos and the Hydreigons and Garchomps and stuff. You can just roost that off and make it to an endgame. You can snarl through stuff. Like it
gets
would have been
toxic.
awesome
It could
in
toxic Dosos too.
yeah.
um,
They get toxic by
maybe-
egg move, not by T.
maybe it
And
doesn't
it's-
belong in the same bucket as Trevenant, but they are going to both end up in the same bucket of Pokemon that I think would have been dope in a format that doesn't have the guys that I've been harping on all podcasts, Fluttermane or Shifu Iron Dance.
Yeah, it's exactly 9 months too late.
While we're
Yeah.
on that topic, Charge a Bug is also a Pokemon that would have been really cool if it came out before Chiyu and Chenpao came out.
Like, why,
I still
man?
don't-
They just
I don't even think it would be. I think he still runs time journey over that guy.
yeah, Stony J is kind of the power creep on this thing. You get to run a real Pokemon. Ribombee, not really.
Because,
Tomo,
Ribombee is really cool next to my Dancer Ludicolo.
yes.
it sure is.
Como has two fun sets in Clangorous Soul and Iron Defense.
This guy,
Whether they will be good or not, it depends on how well built the team is. A bit of an uphill fight considering how much Flutter usage there is, but it's probably pretty good into Ogerpon. So I think it actually resists all the Ogerpon moves. Outside of coverage moves. So
and it is
kind of dope.
It is the Pokemon that benefits from Terra the most. Just like
Right.
the ability to not be 4x weak to the best offensive typing in the game is really, really good. And it keeps its stabs, and it keeps its crazy broken boosting move, and it keeps fighting stab, and you can even run Terra fighting if you really want the extra boost on body press. I shouldn't because you need the steel or poison stab, or steel or poison Terra. Terra stealing is super cool, and Terra poisoning is super cool because it gets attacks that have both those typings. I think it still has a poison move, right? Yeah, it's got poison jab.
Yeah.
And so you can go either way with that, and hit Fluttermane's Flash Cannon is super cool as well to hit Fluttermane. So this mon gets to do it all, which I think is it's got 600 BST. It doesn't get stat checked, which is cool. Even though it's wasting a lot of those points in attack and special attack. It does really have the base stat total to compete. So I think this mon is going to be viable. Oh, also,
Yeah.
In the words of Chopper Cross, remember Series 2 Hydreigon? Me neither.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
This guy
The-
is not broken enough to justify burning a Terra anytime you see a Fluttermane.
The last Mon to talk about, or not Mon actually, the last just like thing that was included in the DLC that I think is like worth a quick mention is the Fairy Feather. I cannot believe after all these years we finally got a fairy item. I mean, like, is it gonna stick around? I don't know. Maybe. It's just funny that we finally got the we don't have to use Pixie Plate anymore. Yeah, fairy feathers here, which means you can also run two of them on the same team. You can run Pixie Plate and Fairy Feather, and that has just unlocked a whole bunch of team compositions for a lot of people. I'm sure.
Now you can run Mischievous with your Fluttermane.
Yes, that's genius.
I wanted to talk about some of the new TMs as well. I think that's a pretty big thing. Or I haven't even looked at all the Pokemon that get it.
Yeah, I was looking at that audio, and I just almost was wondering if it was too big of a topic. There's just a lot.
There's a lot of them. Who gets Scald?
We can pick and choose the interesting ones. Milotic gets Scald.
A lot of good knockoff guys like T-Tar and Roaring Moon.
What was the last one? It was Terrablast previously, right? I don't care about Toxic.
Wait, why'd you skip over Icicle Spear? That one's real.
That one's real, but I've already opened like 10 up.
Yeah,
Okay,
no,
fair
that's
enough.
why, Adi, let's just do this next time. We're gonna have a lot of time to talk about these.
Okay. We do have another week, so I guess we'll talk about the move tutor moves next week. But I think there are a lot of really cool new old Pokemon that are going to see resurgences because of the new TMs that they get access to. or like new movesets they could run, or just straight up buffs, right? Like I mean, we mentioned Bramblecast and getting Poltergeist. That's just a straight up upgrade over what it had previously, and it was already a viable Pokemon. So,
Yeah.
there's a lot to talk about. Honestly, a lot to explore. I have not like I don't want to devolve too deep into this topic. Like Lash Out, it's just generally a good move. We saw it used in last generation, and I haven't even looked at the Pokemon that got it, but like I am curious if that's gonna like make a competitive impact, especially as Incineroar comes back, stuff like that.
Yeah, we'll see if I'm on the next week or not to debate that, because I think Lash Out is dog shit. I'm not even kidding. I do think that move is just not it.
I think it's pretty sick.
Anyways, though, let's head over to the calc is right. I'm stealing that Ursaluna Blood Moon calc, but I want to burn them on and see how much it does to no bulk flutter. So without looking at the stat on Ursaluna Blood Moon, what its attack stat is, I think I know what it is. Are we investing? Yeah, we're all the way invested. This Ursaluna Blood Moon spread is max attack and max special attack, but adamant nature. Wait, no, brave nature. That makes more sense.
There we go.
Brave nature 252, headlong rush, but you got it. You got your bears confused, and you did still put that flame orb on. So maybe it doesn't have special attack invested. Maybe you put the EVs on the wrong bear. And so yeah, you have a max attack, burned Ursaluna Blood Moon using headlong rush into the flutter. How sad are you? How much damage is the flutter taking?
Is this no bulk flutter main?
No bulk flutter. You were sure it was gonna die. Maybe it still does. You tell me.
I got my number.
I got a number.
All right. Let's start with Nick.
I got 65.
65? I mean, we are EV'd.
We're EV'd.
Yeah,
That's
no, I have no faith in no bulk flutter.
All right.
I also have no faith in no bulk flutter. I was gonna say 60.
All right. I'm curious if this one's doing over half. I thought it was going
What do
under.
you think? What do you think?
Yeah, I guess I literally could guess. I don't know the answer. I am gonna go with 40. No, I'll go with 45.
Okay, so what's its base attack?
I think it's 70.
Okay. Oh yeah, no, that thing's definitely going no bulk flutter if it's not burned.
With the bird,
It is no
doing,
bulk flutter.
I'm seeing 46 to 55. There's no
I
terror.
didn't do that. I didn't
It's just
run it. So.
max adamant.
No terror or anything.
Yeah, 46 to 55 if you don't have an item.
I said 45, so I'm not in there, and I think... Wait, Adi, you might have been in there?
I said 60.
No, they said 60.
Wait,
We all
what did
uh,
left.
you say, Nick?
Nick said
I
65.
said 65.
Oh, so we're all out?
We're all out.
Yep.
None of us could guess it.
Oh my god. Yeah, that's pretty funny. All right, Adi, you got one?
Yeah, okay. So, I thought we were going to talk about move tutors, so this could be more topical. But I think the most significant move tutor move that we're getting is Roaring Moon getting knockoff. That is going to be crazy. So, let's see if we can do a knockoff calc, and I hope you guys know your Ogerpon sets. And I don't know if it's coded in the calc correctly, but how much is max attack booster energy plus attack booster energy Roaring Moon knockoff doing to a let's say 252 HP Ogerpon, water Ogerpon, or any Ogerpon, doesn't really matter.
This guy's got bulk investment? Yeah, we're not doing shit.
Wait, sorry. Sorry, Isabel, what's the calc?
This is the fakest calc imaginable. It's max attack, adamant, booster plus attack, Roaring Moon knockoff into 252 HP, let's say 4 defense Ogerpon, like water Ogerpon.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Does knockoff get buffed?
You don't know that.
Is it
Can't be confirmed.
Okay, fine.
I don't know
Nick
that
is
either.
supposed to know the answer.
We're all-
I know the answer, but
I think it does not get buffed. Okay. I got my answer.
All right,
Um,
Alex,
yeah,
what you got?
I'm gonna go 43.
Okay, and Nels.
I'm going 55. I think Alex forgot the attack boost.
It's got max HP. I don't know.
I'm actually I haven't looked at the calc yet. I'm going higher. I'm going 70. I don't think Ogre Pod's very bulky.
It's like 80, 84.
Yeah, but
Not frail.
Roaring Moon with booster energy, that thing hits.
Yeah, and it's like 55.
All right,
Cannot
it is
wait
doing
for
51.8 to 61.4.
smack dab in the middle.
That's how you do it,
Easy.
Nick.
Easy money.
All right.
Alex forgot the boost.
I honestly, I was off by a boost.
Wait, so it doesn't get the boost, right? That's how that works.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I was off
No,
by
he was off by a booster energy. He thought it was speed
yes,
boosting.
I was
Roaring
off by
Moon.
a booster energy boost.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
right, Nels.
Okay, so we've got the new kid in class, Iron Hands, with his spiffy assault vest, and Conkeldur's got the old mm, the old what's it called?
Flame
The
orb?
old get up.
Flame orb?
Yeah, he's got his flame orb. They show up at school. Conk is feeling disrespected because Iron Hands gets all the girls, just has all the attention. They start drain punching each other. Konk's got his
No.
Konk's got his 1.5x boost. Who's doing more damage? Conk or Iron Hands? They're both max attack. 4 HP, 4 defense. Who's dealing more damage? Who's dealing higher
Okay.
percentage?
Okay, so they have the same offense and same defense investment.
Yeah, they're 252 adamant, 4 HP, 4 defense. This is not exactly a calc, or I guess we can just do.
No. Nerd of Now actually
oh.
did something similar. He had a compare calc, and who's doing more with the drain punch?
I think it's Conk.
Does
I think
the
Conk is still.
Or actually,
does it also have Iron Fist and Sheer Force?
it has one ability. You can pick your favorite ability, but Guts does the most.
Yeah, I'm gonna do Guts. Man, I'll
Okay,
give the.
but I'm gonna pick Sheer Force and then go Iron Hands.
All right, I am picking. All right, well, Jeez, this is so tough, but I got my answer.
I think I mean assuming it's Guts, I think my answer is Conk.
Yeah, I got Conk as well. Conk's gonna do it.
I believe.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So Conk is doing 45 to 53 with Drain Punch, and Iron Hands is doing 43 to 51. So after Flame Orb damage, Conk takes more damage like from the exchange, but it does ever so slightly more damage with its Drain Punch.
I forgot to
Hands.
account for Flame Orb, but that is actually so funny. What is the percentage more
Um,
that Conk's taking?
Okay. Conk is
it takes,
also
like-
healing more. So how does that factor in?
Good question. Like, yeah, Iron Hands does have a higher HP stat. Like, Iron Hands is doing Conk's. Yeah, okay. Conk comes out slightly ahead even after the burn chip because Iron Hands has so many more stats. But yeah, with its 1.5x multiplier, using its ability to the max, Conk about trades evenly with Iron Hands.
But wait, Iron Hands doesn't even have an ability. That's not fair. Give Iron Hands booster energy.
Oh yeah, and Iron Hands just has an assault vest in this scenario.
Yeah.
Conk is just Conk's down bad. It's tough out here for Conkeldurr.
Brutal.
All right. Well, I think that's going to wrap up the Calc is Right. I hope you guys enjoyed this special episode where we had two different people on at non-consecutive times.
Different times.
At consecutive times, not at the same time, because that's just how schedules worked out. But yeah, you can check us out on YouTube. where this entire thing will be uploaded on Wednesday. So if you missed part of it, you can go watch it there. And in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and send you guys off to Spencer Lee, who is not playing Pokemon, but he's a Pokemon player and also a friend of ours, and also one of the best wrestlers in the country and the world. So go check him out. Any final words that you guys wanted to give before we head out?
No, I'm looking forward to talking more about Reg E though. It's been pretty fun, and so yeah, we'll catch you guys next time.
Peace.
Peace out, peeps.
See it.